Hi everyone, it's Sue and welcome back to Discovering the Art of Living. Now, if you're new to my channel, click on the subscribe button below as well as the bell icon to be notified when I upload new videos. Now this is the fourth and final part of reclaiming the mom cave. So if you missed the first 3 steps, click on the links above and that will take you through my process. So today we're going to talk about the letter W. Work hard and welcome change. Now this sounds easy enough, but the welcoming change can be really upsetting and really an emotional process. I had to go through a lot of the stuff that I was holding on to for emotional reasons, thinking that I might need someday or they might hold on to some special memory for me. But I had to take a real hard look at the things that I was hanging on to. Old report cards, artwork from the kids, clothes from when they were little, things that I just at the time couldn't really part with. Magazines were a big one for me. I'm kind of like a bird. I like shiny pages, so I was hanging on to every craft magazine, every magazine I'd ever owned, and I had boxes and boxes of them. But I finally looked at, in this digital age, a lot of that stuff that I was hanging on to, I could look up online. I didn't need to keep physical copies. So that was step 1 for me, was going through and recycling, repurposing magazines, donating them to charity, passing them along to family and friends. Now some of them I will still keep because they do have patterns in them, like quilting ones or sewing ones, things like that. But I had a whole 5-year subscription of family fun magazines that I was just hanging on to because they reminded me of the fun time I had with the kids doing crafts. But my kids are teenagers now, they don't do crafts. So I got rid of all of those. Lots of clothes, I was keeping all of the clothes they had ever owned since they were born. I didn't really need to do that. I went through and picked out a few choice items and hung on to those. Artwork from the kids, report cards from the kids. Again, am I ever going to use them? I took pictures of some of the ones I really wanted to keep, and some of the really special ones I did keep, but the rest, half the time the kids didn't even remember making them. So are they really serving a purpose? No. So this can be a really hard step to welcoming change. And also, giving up some of the things, the small hopes and dreams that I had. You can't do everything. I needed to pick the real focus things that made me the happiest and concentrate on those. If you're spreading yourself too thin, you're going to burn out and stress out. So this is a big step, but a most important step, and the final chapter of our book on reclaiming the mom cave. So if you're interested in seeing how this whole project finally plays out and how you can use these steps in your own life, whether or not you're trying to reclaim a room, whether you're trying to decide on a new career, whether you're going to decide on a new hobby, maybe take up a new lifestyle, a new weight loss challenge, anything that you really want to put your mind to, you can use the acronym SLOW to help you achieve your dream. So let's get started. So I don't know about you, but I like to exercise first thing in the morning, and I come up with some of my best ideas on the treadmill at 7:30 a.m. So the other day, I had an epiphany while working out on my treadmill of how I could reorganize other areas of my home in order to help me organize my mom cave. Now, how would I go about doing that, you ask? We'll wait and see. We'll start here in our dining room. Now, a few years ago, my husband bought me this beautiful little cabinet with the countertop on it because I was really into cake decorating and I had to have a spot to store all my stuff. And he also thought it would be handy to have a little bit of extra counter space since we have a bit of a small kitchen. Well, I filled it up with my cake decorating stuff all right, but I put it out in the dining room with the coffee machine on it, so we never really utilized it for all it was worth because it was such a big hassle to wheel it out in order to use it for a counter spot when we had to take the coffee machine off, make room, and it just wasn't very practical. So I thought, I wonder if I could repurpose this. So step 1 was to empty out everything. And this little unit held a lot of stuff, let me tell you. So I put it all on the kitchen table and then I organized it into groups. I had a place for things that just ended up getting stored here. Plus I had some treats that were left over from Christmas, some cookie cutters, some glasses that I got at a yard sale that I thought I might use someday but never really did. Plus I did have a lot of cake decorating supplies, which I don't really use too much anymore, but I didn't really want to get rid of. There were a few cake pans for wedding cakes, example, that I could repurpose or get rid of or donate to charity because I didn't really see myself making wedding cakes in my foreseeable future. Once I had the mess all laid out, I had to figure out a plan on what to do with it. So I threw out things that were expired or broken that I no longer needed, put a pile together to donate, and then decided on where I was going to put the rest. Now that leads me to step 2, my next victim. So in our kitchen area, we have this cute little pantry, and it has some inspirational sayings on it. Live well, love often, laugh much. Inspirational sayings. I wonder where I might be able to utilize that. Stay tuned. So next, I had to clean and sort all of this mess. Now, my husband and I have adopted a ketogenic eating lifestyle since the summer, and if you want to learn more about that, let me know in the comments section below. But because of that, there's a lot of foods that we don't eat anymore, high carb, starchy, packaged foods. And just in general, our family's trying to eat less processed food. Now, doesn't that look better? And to clean it all out, I just used a magic eraser. Works great. So then I sorted all of the stuff into piles. We had a ton of hot chocolate. We had food that had expired. We had food that we couldn't eat anymore. We had food that only the kids will eat. We had food that only the kids won't eat. So I sorted it all into piles and realized I had quite a few handy containers left over. And then my buddy JJ decided that she wanted to help. So again, I sorted everything into piles, got rid of expired food, made up a box of food to donate to the food bank, and then sorted into lunch snacks for the kids, food that only the kids would eat, our ketogenic food, and other things that I could put into these variety of totes. So here I have my spices and mixes all into one little container. These are handy. You get those at the Dollar Tree because they snap close. My next step was to reduce a lot of packaging that I had. So I took out all of the pasta and rice that the kids could eat, took them out of their boxes, and utilized these beautiful Tupperware canisters that I had. Next, I decided to actually utilize that little wheeling cart with the countertop on it in the kitchen where it was meant to be. So I decided to make that cabinet a keto/kid-friendly cupboard. So one half of the cupboard are all the foods that only the kids can or will eat. Their snacks for school, their hot chocolate collection, etc. The other half would be all of our keto food. A lot of our keto supplies we buy from the bulk store, and our bulk store will allow you to bring in your own mason jars and containers to refill them. Very environmentally friendly. However, putting them in this drawer, I do realize now that I can't always easily see what's in the mason jars. But silver lining in my cloud, it's a new DIY project to make some labels. Now the last group of food that I had to find a home for was food that everyone in the whole family can use. So I had enough room in my cupboard over the counter in the kitchen to store the rest of the food. Now doesn't that look better? Now that the kitchen countertop cabinet was in place and useful, what might I do with the empty pantry, you might ask? I wonder where that could go. I know, in the mom cave, inspirational words and all. So if you remember from the last video, I had a TV cabinet that I had my magazines and whatnot in, but I found it was a little too big and cumbersome and took up a lot of room in the mom cave, and it was pretty dark. So I had the idea to use this pantry to store some of my craft supplies. I have my sewing items in here, some wood pieces, and other craft supplies for DIY projects. Now doesn't that look more organized and pretty? And I also organized my space upstairs, so 2 for 1. So if you want to see the final reveal of the Mom Cave, tune in next Friday and I will walk you through everything that I have done to make this my dream come true. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and in the comments section below, let me know any other makeovers that you might like to see. And if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button as well as the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content. See you next time on Discovering the Art of Living.